imbalance at some point, too much debt, too much leverage, and this imbalance at some point, just explodes. That's not the case. Here we have a completely exogenous shock, which was totally unexpected, and that does not build on endogenous imbalances. In a sense, that's better because the shock is coming on the economy where I'm not saying everything is all right, but in a sense, the economy is not completely unbalanced in our different economies. But where the challenge is that indeed the nature of the shock is completely different from, again, a shock coming from a financial crisis or an increase in oil prices or an increase in interest rates by central banks. So it's very different. The nature of the shock, I would say, is very different in terms of the timing. So right now, for example, in Europe, where if we are in confinement, we are in a situation where indeed the economy is completely freeze, both because on the supply side and on the demand side. On the supply side, because a lot of the value chains in terms of the production stages are completely freeze. You have no transport, you cannot import some of the things you need. And on the demand side, simply there are some lots of activities which are completely stopped, which are restricted, which are forbidden, or for which the demand has completely collapsed, if you think of tourism, for example, in services. And then some other activities which are in high demand, of course, health, but also in terms of food. There are some activities which are in high demand, but there are a minority, of course, and the aggregate picture is one where the economy is completely freeze for 1 month, 2 months, and even maybe more. So from that point of view, the standard economic policy where we say, okay, do a demand stimulus, for example, or demand stimulus would be the standard thing. Here it does not work, at least in the short term. We may need this later on in the crisis when we exit the pure health crisis that we're living now. But clearly we are in a situation where to kill the virus, we have to kill the economy, at least in the short term. That's basically what we need, because the economy is about interaction, social interactions, which is exactly what we don't want these days. And so that means clearly that you have to freeze the economy. The big issue here is how we react. And here there are very different reactions across the world. If you look at the reaction in Europe, in US, they are very different. In Europe, what is happening is that there's a lot of the welfare state. Basically, the state is ensuring the income of workers. As you may know, a lot of countries are basically copying what Germany did during the last financial crisis, where basically you have some forms of work sharing, where basically the contract of workers are preserved. You stay employed with your firm, but you stay at home, you don't work, and you are paid entirely or mostly, your wage is entirely or mostly paid by the state. So the good thing about it is that people don't go to unemployment. Their income may fall, but not that much. And the firms, which have no sales, basically, don't have these costs which are linked to labor costs. Okay. However, it means that the state is paying everything. Okay. In some sense, it's a socialization of the economy which has freeze. This is a huge stimulus in a sense, because that means that at the same time where the GDP completely falls, the production completely collapses, the revenues are insured by the state. So that's the welfare state. I think it's a good solution because it enables to stabilize the income, and that's the best way to avoid that this huge disruption of the economy, this freezing of the economy, as you were saying,